Hey everybody, welcome to Coleman Certified SBA Loan Training Office Hours. Today is the 20th. Bob is playing hooky. He is in the middle of the Mediterranean right now on a cruise ship, which is nice. How you doing, Lance?
I'm good. I'm just wondering why Bob didn't take us. We could have easily broadcast this from the cruise ship.
Welcome everyone. I see some familiar faces. Hey Ben, David, Flora, how you doing? We are in week 6 of SBA 1 and week 3 of closing, so welcome back everyone, all the new attendees. You guys know how to ask questions. Just send me an email and I will make sure to get it over to Lance and Bob. Let's start with some poll questions.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. Does your institution actively pursue the Veterans Advantage SBA loans?
And I'm asking this question primarily to encourage SBA lenders to use this as a key marketing advantage for small business loans. As we all know, loans under 150,000 have no guarantee fee, but on Veterans Advantage, you can do an SBA Express loan, and that's a current SBA Express loan up to $350,000 with no guarantee fee for someone who can provide appropriate proof that they're a veteran. Usually that would be the DD-214. Additionally, on your larger SBA loans, the veteran is going to get half-price guarantee fee. We actually had a Veterans Advantage loan that we did that was a sizable loan, and it saved the borrower $17,000 on the guarantee fee. So you need to ask the question when you have a small business borrower that walks into your bank, are you a veteran?
Right, yeah, that seems like a good tip. Let's go to the second one. What is the SBA guarantee fee on a Veterans Advantage SBA Express loan?
Okay, I ruined this one. I just told them the answer.
We could go ahead and go, Mike.
Here's the deal, guys. Normally on an SBA Express loan for $350,000, the guarantee fee on a Veterans Advantage loan would be, or on a non-Veterans Advantage loan would be $5,250. If you have a veteran with proof of their service, the fee is $0.
Yeah, yeah. When closing a SBA loan, do you include the credit memo and loan details report found in the SBA 1 as documentation?
I just asked this. I want everybody that's using SBA 1 to get in on your opening screen where you can see the loans that you're working on. It lists all the loans. If you'll look to the right-hand side, there's a little PDF symbol, and if you hover over it, it'll say credit memo and loan details. And I really like using that as an additional piece of documentation in your SBA loan file. One thing that it does for you on page 5, sometimes page 6, it does discuss the credit elsewhere rule. Mm-hmm. And it probably is not as thorough, so sometimes I'll add notes and additional information, but it's a great way to document the credit elsewhere rule too, which has become a hot button item for SBA.
What is your most common credit elsewhere justification?
Well, I think it's these are all some good potential credit elsewhere justification, but I was just curious what you see most often. I think in our SBA walk at my bank, we did 61 SBA loans last year, and there would be a mixture of these as potential credit elsewhere justification. And one that we frequently have, small businesses acquiring commercial real estate. Our internal bank policy only allows 20-year amortization. The SBA loan allows a 25-year amortization, and that can be proof of credit not being available elsewhere.
Right. One last one. How do you document credit elsewhere?
Well, I'm just curious, are you doing memorandums? Do you use SBA 1 produced credit memo and loan details? And if you do respond to number 3, my recommendation to you would be to go back into your SBA loan files and make sure and add a memorandum. Well, it looks like nobody's skipping that, but it's important to document credit elsewhere. A lot of the information that's coming out from the Inspector General's office talking about key items that they're looking at in review of an SBA loan do center around credit elsewhere.
Very good. That's another good tip from Lance. Let's go to the question, Mike, from Maryland. She's talking about the SBA Express loan and the SBA 1, and she's confused on where to go for the initial scoring prior to completing the application.
Well, if you work through SBA 1, it's going to provide the score. You can also go back into E-Tran if you want to and get the score, but SBA 1 is intuitive. It's set up to where if the score is not adequate for the type of processing that you're doing, it will not allow you to continue. And that's one of the things about SBA 1 that I like. As you're working through a loan on SBA 1, if a response to a question does not allow it to be the loan to be eligible, or doesn't allow it to be processed in a certain manner, SBA, there's going to be an error or a warning message that pops up and says, hey, you can't continue. If this is a correct response, go back and change your response or process it in another way.
Right. I think I've added some secondary market quotes, ticking up a little bit. What do you think about these prices, Lance?
Well, I think that we've seen a little uptick. In our bank, we occasionally sell the guaranteed portion of SBA loans. I think that there are a number of banks that sell a significant number of SBA loans. It is still a very vibrant market. I think the cornerstone to the secondary market program is the fact that SBA doesn't let the investors lose on the money they've invested. I mean, if the loan defaults, SBA buys back the principal balance of the loan plus 120 days interest, so the investors can't lose. I think as we see interest rates tick up, we may see the premiums trend down a little bit, but I don't foresee any significant increases in interest rates, primarily because I don't know that our economy can handle a significant increase in it. I do believe that we're going to see some increases, but I think, 25 or 50 basis points may be all we see.
Hey, if you guys have any questions on secondary market stuff, you can call Bob Judge at Government Loan Solutions. He's the expert in that. And then also we're meeting on December 6th in Washington for our secondary market summit. So just let me know if you guys want to come. And the last thing I think we're talking about, the CFPB, they proposed some regulations that SBA didn't support. What do you think about that, Lance?
I'm taking a look at some of the information. Why do we carry SBA support?
Sorry to.
Oh, that's okay. I certainly pros would prohibit all payday auto title, but they would require. I think SBA may oppose it because SBA is for anything that helps small businesses get the funding that they need. I'm probably going to take a different slant on this in that had this conversation with a fellow banker the other day. I do think there's a lot of opportunity for us as SBA lenders to help stabilize and improve the cash flow of small businesses by actively looking for those small businesses who have in fact used an online lender as a source for working capital or equipment funding. I had an opportunity, a young millennial small business owner who, is not accustomed to walking in the door at a bank, probably hasn't walked in a bank, and they wanted to get their business started. They needed some new equipment after their first 6 months, and they used an online lender, and they were paying 25% interest on one loan, 19.5% on the other loan. And they actually were experiencing some cash flow difficulties as a result of that. They still had good credit. They had good revenue stream in the business, and we actually refinanced those loans and provided significant cash flow savings and stabilized that small business. But one thing, Joseph, that's more important today than it's ever been. Banking is going to change tremendously over the next several years because the small business community is changing. The types of small businesses that we're seeing, the types of borrowers we're seeing are changing. We're actually working at our bank on providing a online link on our web page to allow small business owners to start the small business loan process. Because I think a lot of younger small business owners expect to do their banking online. I know I embrace online banking, but I still like to walk in the door and make a deposit and get a receipt. But there's a whole new generation of small business owners who are going to want to at least get the process started without having to walk in for an in-office meeting. And that's why we're seeing so many small businesses use payday lenders, online lenders like Cabbage. And I think that is providing increasing competition for small business lending, but it also provides exceptional opportunity because SBA can be used to refinance, reconfigure those loans that are at higher interest rates and put them on a reasonable interest rate and improve the cash flow of the small business.
Talk to us about, Mike, you can go to the next one, about your eligibility webinar coming up on the 17th, 2017 update.
SBA loan eligibility is critically important in the SBA loan process. Understanding what you can and cannot do, understanding the various rules in the SOP 5010-5H and how they impact eligibility is important. Properly originating and closing your SBA loan is a critical step to making sure you can get the guarantee paid. I'm actually working on a guaranteed purchase package right now, and thankfully this loan was done before I joined the bank, and they did walk through the eligibility process appropriately. But I think that quite often banks get in a hurry and don't consider all the aspects of SBA loan eligibility. So this webinar is going to give you a full discussion of the various areas of SBA loan eligibility, and will help bring you up to speed and make you an SBA lender that's making an SBA loan that's eligible. And if the loan does default 5 years down the road, you're not going to have eligibility issues when you're trying to get SBA to pay on the guarantee.
Shout out to Paul Long. Hey, how you doing, Paul? I did an audit of all your attendees, and you have a very good track record, and we appreciate you coming back every week. And for the rest of you, we will see you next Thursday. Hopefully Bob will get back alive from Italy, and we'll go into all the new stuff next week. I appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
Take care.